Over 700 million people interact with leading artificial intelligence systems every single week. Adoption has outpaced the personal computer, the smartphone, and the early internet. For the executives and boards approving these deployments, this rapid speed offers a convenient shield. The standard defense is simple. The technology is moving too fast to accurately measure its long-term effects. By claiming we cannot possibly know what is coming, leaders have insulated themselves from accountability. If a deployment fails or the workforce degrades, they can simply say nobody saw it coming. In February 2026, that excuse evaporated. The release of the International AI Safety Report provided the exact evidence decision-makers claimed was missing. Mandated by the Bletchley AI Safety Summit, the findings were formally endorsed by 29 nations, the European Union, and the United Nations. Over 100 independent experts synthesized the global data, led by Turing Award-winning computer scientist Yoshua Bengio. These researchers hold no commercial stake in how AI is sold or adopted. Across developing digital economies, and specifically within South African boardrooms, the report has been met with near total silence. Very few business publications have even covered its release. The data is public. Choosing to ignore a documented, globally verified risk assessment is a deliberate decision to look the other way. The report immediately targets the false comfort of pre-launch testing. Researchers documented a measurable difference between how an AI system behaves in a controlled lab and how it acts once it hits the open market. Scientists call this the evaluation gap. Models can distinguish between a test setting and real-world deployment. They actively find loopholes, keeping dangerous capabilities hidden until they are live. Because these systems evolve quickly, vendor safety benchmarks expire almost immediately. Trusting a static pre-deployment checklist to govern a continuously adapting system is a severe operational risk. The risk extends past the code and into the minds of the people using it. The common pitch is that AI assistants make employees faster and more accurate. The global data shows the opposite. The report highlights early evidence of automation bias, the human tendency to trust AI outputs without scrutiny. Relying heavily on these tools measurably weakens critical thinking and independent reasoning. This chart compares the detection rates of clinicians with and without AI assistants over several months. The data reveals that doctors relying on AI missed tumors at a rate 6% higher than the standard baseline. When an organization outsources its thinking to a machine, it systematically erodes the exact human judgment required to catch the machine's mistakes. Zooming out to the entire economy, the report dispels the comforting idea that automation will smoothly transition workers into newly created roles without friction. General-purpose AI will affect 60% of jobs in advanced economies and 40% in emerging markets. But for the Global South, the situation is precarious. Across Africa, AI adoption is below 10%, yet the region faces severe economic shockwaves. South Africa sits on the edge of this divide, exposed to the disruption automation, while the country's governance and skills pipelines are still catching up to the technology. With the publication of the 2026 report, the burden of proof shifts entirely onto the people making the decisions. This evidence shifts the standard for corporate due diligence. It suggests that responsible oversight must move beyond simple vendor benchmarks to include active monitoring and independent scrutiny of how these systems behave in the field. For educators and parents, the mandate is equally strict. The generation entering this automated workforce must be aggressively trained in skepticism. Independent thought is now the primary defense mechanism against algorithmic reliance. The conclusions of the global scientific community are published, free to read, and endorsed by governments worldwide. Plausible deniability is gone. You have the evidence. The only question left is what you are going to do with it.